Today on the channel, it's that time of year again. It's Ringside Fest 2021 with Mattel Reveals. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Mattel WWE Reveals video. And today we're talking about Ringside Fest 2021, a long-standing tradition with Ringside Collectibles, of course. Use discount code Kyle, save 10%, cheap plug there. Ringside Fest every single year for, been about 20 years now probably at this point. Maybe not. Maybe so, it's got to be around there. It's maybe even longer than that. Going back to the old Jax Class Superstars days, we used to get exclusives and things, and no exclusives announced today as far as Ringside Fest exclusives, but we have two exclusives to talk about later in this video. But Ringside Fest this time, once again, is not in person. It is being done virtual, similar to last year. But we did get the reveals, of course, and we've got yesterday's reveals and today's reveals. So 2 days of reveals. They split it up a little bit. Personally, I would like to see it all together in one. Don't make us do 2 days. Let's just get it all, do an hour-long video. Let's hammer it out. But we got about a half hour. We got, I think it was Tom from Ringside was there kind of leading the panel. And then you had Bill McKenna, of course, from Mattel, and Steve Ogier as well from Mattel, talking about some of these figures and revealing some of these figures. So we got a lot of first-of-the-line, first-time sneak peeks of some figures here. A lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, and Mattel really is cooking with gas right now, I feel. Really, I mean, obviously there's constant learnings, constant improvements that need to be happening out there, and that goes for every single toy line. There's always something that can be done better, but Mattel is really stepping it up with some of the pinless joints, the double-jointed elbows, things like that. We're getting a lot of good stuff from them. So they are really stepping up because you know why? That's why competition is good. You get Jazzwares out there competing in the same ballpark. It's going to make Mattel work harder. It should make Jazzwares work harder. Let's see some more of those fist Jazzwares. Let's fix some of those elbow issues. But really good stuff announced today, so let's dig into it. Let's take a look at day one reveals. So day one, they started off with basics. So we're going to start with basics as well, because that's what they started with. So let's start off with the WrestleMania basics. We already know about the WrestleMania Elites coming with the Build-A-Figure Vince McMahon figure. We've discussed that in the past. That was not brought up today. It was just the basics. And we did see loose shots, and we saw in-package shots of these coming early 2022, of course, maybe even January. We'll see what happens. But it's all in all basics WrestleMania set. It kind of goes both ways. We saw Sheamus, a throwback Sheamus, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what WrestleMania. Very similar to the 2-pack with the Ultimate Warrior back in the basic days, and I'm almost 100% certain we got this in the Elite days as well. But a nice throwback Sheamus to those that are looking for a throwback Sheamus in the basic variety. We also saw Seth Rollins, always a popular one, always fits in with these WrestleMania SummerSlam sets because he's always featured in a predominant place on the card. So no surprise we're getting this Seth Rollins in here. He's almost a part of every single one of those. And then we got Bianca Belair. That's always good. Getting more variations of her out there. Obviously, one of the most talked about and probably shown on TV females going currently. So it makes sense to get another one of her out there. But the one I think most collectors, most diehard fans are happy about is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's return to the basic line. I don't even know how many years it's been since we've had a Hogan basic. But he is back in the WrestleMania 2 attire. We'll never forget the cage match against old King Kong Bundy. But very cool looking. It seems to be some reuse from an older basic Hogan. We get a new shirt to it, new bandana. But they did specifically mention on the live stream that this Hulk Hogan would have some of that old school basic articulation that a lot of people are clamoring for. They'd love for basics to go back where they were a lot better quality. I mean, basics at the core, we always have to put the business hat on. They're a cheaper figure for children out there. Elites are for children too, but basics are more for children. You're going to buy 2 basics over 1 elite if you're a parent buying a little 4-year-old a wrestling toy. That's just facts. That's the facts of life right there. You take the good, you take the bad, and then you had the facts of life. But that Hogan looks pretty solid. I think a lot of people that don't collect basics will pick up this Hogan. I don't pick up all the basics. You guys know I dabble. I'll definitely be getting this Hogan. It's an interesting one, and I think people could dress this up a little bit. You take this shirt off, you buy a third-party soft goods, you can mix and match and make this thing elite. But I do think this will be the hot seller of that pack of 4 WrestleMania basic figures. There's no doubt in my mind that's going to be the hot one. Hulk Hogan sells at the end of the day. I have heard some feedback online from people, why do we get so many Hogans? Why do they keep coming? Because guess what, guys? It's a business at the end of the day. People got to get paid. It is not a non-profit. Yes, I'd love to have some of those Ruthless Aggression stars. I'd rather have some more of those deep cuts. And I think Mattel does the best they can to pepper those in, but they got to keep going to the well with the Roman Reignses, the Hulk Hogans, the Ultimate Warriors, the heavy hitters. Because that's what moves products, that's what sells, that's what gets the Targets, Walmarts, Amazons excited about product. If you stick a bunch of heavy machineries or stuff like that, not to bag on heavy machinery, it seems like I always do, but you put those kind of guys in, retailers don't get super excited about that, but they do about Hulk Hogan, as we know. So we're going to continue to get Hulk Hogans, and we're going to talk more Hulk Hogans in this very video. But then we'll continue on with the basics. I don't believe they announced the number for this basic, what's set, but we're getting a Roman Reigns basic. And they're being really smart in some of this basic stuff right now. Kudos to the Mattel team thinking, I don't know how to say it's thinking outside of the box, but making a reason for some other collectors to dive their toe into the basics, because this Roman Reigns, street gear Roman Reigns. And this is what I think we should see a lot more, and it seems Mattel is jumping into this. Street gear figures. Give us backstage when they're not wrestling. It gives that Roman Reigns out there for the kids that probably doesn't care if Roman Reigns has a shirt on or not, but it also makes that adult collector that loves Roman Reigns, oh, I need the promo version of Roman Reigns instead of just always wrestling. So kudos to Mattel. That's very smart marketing there. I would do the exact same thing, but we're getting Roman Reigns in 2 different shirts. One in black, one in white. The white, I believe they said, is the chase. It's Roman Reigns. I'm not sure if that's a totally new head sculpt, but it looked different for me. It could just be the images of the computer images there. But very cool. I think that's a smart idea. And then once again, customizers could take this body, jeans, shirt. They could, mix and match, do some things. You could put a soft goods over that, make it change up. There's a lot that could be done with these to make them elite or possibly good as they are. And then, of course, children out there can get a Roman Reigns. So a lot of people win in this scenario. I may even dabble and pick one of these up. I might wait for a clearance or an Amazon deal, something like that. I might play a little of that long game because I don't envision it to be super hard to get. But I think that's pretty smart. And in the same kind of headspace there, they showed us Randy Orton. It's like backstage Randy Orton doing interviews. He's got his shorts on. He's got his hoodie on. This is perfect. Randy Orton collectors are definitely going to want this. Elite collectors, hardcore collectors will want this version of Randy Orton because it represents him in the back. Maybe you put him with Matt Riddle in this gear. I think it's just a very smart move, smart play by the Mattel team, getting this Randy Orton out like this. I think it's just really smart. And I think a lot of us prefer this way than just take up an elite spot. At least that's where I'm sitting. You guys can tell me that in the comments below. But that Orton is very good. That's definitely one I will be picking up. Once that hits retail, I always buy my basics at retail. I will pick that one up day one. I see that for sure. Then we saw first time in the line. This guy's getting all kinds of first time. We saw him in the Elite line just a few sets ago. Now he's going to get his first ever basic figure. We're getting Dominic Mysterio, carrying on that Mysterio tradition of getting a lot of figures, I guess we'll call it. But we're getting that Build-A-Figure from the SummerSlam when he was a kid. We got the Elite like I talked about. Now we're getting a basic version of Dominic. And I think this will go okay. I think there's still enough people that want different Dominic Mysterios right now. He hasn't wore out his welcome like some other characters, so I think there's some room for this one. I think this will sell all right. So it looks pretty cool to me. And then we turned our attention to probably the most exciting basic announcement of the day for me. First, they showed AJ Styles. Good brother AJ Styles. You guys, I always get compared to AJ Styles, the Giant circa WCW, the Cowardly Lion, and what was the other one? I don't know, there was another one, but I get like, people say, hey, anybody ever tell you look like, but good old AJ Styles returned to the basic lineup. I think most people have their fill of AJ Styles basics, but they might want this one because of the next one we're talking about, and that is his current tag team partner, Omos, tomato, potato. There you go. But Omos is one I'm excited for because what does Kyle love at his core? He loves big figures. I love those old school Great Khali basics back in the day. So sign me up for an Omos. I've heard Bill McKenna say on the stream that he barely fits in the basic packaging. And he very possibly may be the tallest figure they've ever released. It'd be right neck and neck with Great Khali. It does look like a new body mold. Maybe some reuse from the Dawkins Street Profits chest. That's kind of what it looks like to me. But obviously these are digital renders. But sign me up, a big figure, I want it all day long. I'll get him. I'll probably get this AJ Styles just to put these two together. So kudos putting them. Hopefully they're in the same wave. That would make sense. I would assume that's the case. I wouldn't be shocked if the ones we just talked about are the same wave. But Omos is going to be good. I just wonder if we will get an Elite Omos one day. We never got an Elite Great Khali, if you remember. Will we get an Omos? And then maybe that would lead to Commander Aziz. And then hopefully gets us maybe an Elegante Giant Gonzalez down the line. Fingers crossed, Giant Gonzalez we need. Hairy bipedal creature, wrestler, big creature. Come on, sign me up all day long. But Omos is a step in the right direction. I love the idea of this, and I was hoping we would get one soon, and it seems like the basic, probably early 2022, we're going to get that Omos, and I may even pre-order that from Ringside Collectibles. That's how excited I am for a big figure like this. So we'll see. No, by no means is he in the Ultimate Warrior era. Is he going to be my favorite? But I'm a sucker for a big figure, as you guys know. But I thought that was a really, really cool one. So that was it for the basics. Then we got to see a few elites out there. And the first one, they kind of killed a little bit of the buzz, in my opinion, with this one. Nothing against Rey Mysterio, because guess what? Kyle loves tattoos. I love masked wrestlers. You guys know this. Mysterio, I've been a fan since his ECW days. So I'm all in for more Mysterios, but man, how many Mysterios can we get? This one, very fitting for the holiday, kind of orange and black attack going on. He's ready for Halloween. He's ready for trick-or-treating with that mask. Little Ray making towns, making door-to-doors. But the one thing that really drove me nuts on the picture on this one, it's just time. It's those overshirts that are cut off at the side. We get them with all the Ray figures. It's time to retire that. It's time to get something different. Give us it in soft goods. I'm sick of it. It's just like two plastic pieces that go over. It just looks strange. We've had it so many times. I think it's just time to retire it. That's where I sit. I don't know. I know it's a lot of budgeting, a lot of toolings go into that. Soft goods are probably more expensive. I get it. But give us a soft good Ray like this one of these days with that over. I'm just sick of the plastic one. We've had it for like 10 years, 10 plus years at this point. So I don't know. I was a little mixed bag on that Ray. Nothing totally against it, but it just didn't kind of live up to the hype I was having in my head at the time. And maybe you guys were in the same instant. He was kind of the disappointing elite announcement for the day for me, which is strange because usually Rays are pretty toyetic and you're pretty excited. But we then turned our attention to an all-time favorite of mine for many reasons, as you guys know. Old Scarlett, missing from WWE TV, but we are getting Scarlett, her first ever elite figure from the NXT days. A lot of brand new tooling with this. You got her long patented cat-like hands going on. You got the hourglass accessory. Soft plastic, I think. It's not sharp. They did point that out. It's not sharp. It's not going to hurt anybody. Her kind of crown going on there. Scarlett, this will be interesting. As we know, females do traditionally peg warm out there. I can go to a lot of my stores and find the basic Scarlett right now on the pegs, but I'm all for this. Sign me up. I don't know what her future holds or what her character holds in the WWE. Karrion Kross seems to be getting another makeover. I don't know where she's going to net out. I think I have some ideas, but that's not the place for this video. But I'll pick this one up. I'm picking all these elites up. You know I'm an elite completist. But I like this one. I like Scarlett. She's maybe my favorite female, and I don't even know if she's wrestled a match in WWE. So who knows? But I'm all for Scarlett. And then we get another female coming. The female hits keep coming. We're getting Charlotte Flair. And this is Charlotte's return to the elite line. It goes back to like Elite 56 or something like that. There's still a store off the beaten path up in Minnesota that her old elite is still sitting there. A thing that's been through a war, but it's still up there. That one didn't sell the best, but we've had a lot of basic Charlottes over the years, even recently in the shelves right now. Then the Ultimate Edition, which was fabulous. That Charlotte Ultimate Edition, I really did like that one. But we're getting her in Elite, in her purple gear. I have to assume there's going to be a robe with this. Charlotte usually comes with a robe of some sort, and I would assume this one will. But yeah, Charlotte has not been in a traditional Elite line for a long, long time, so it's a welcome return for her at this point. And then one that really excited a lot of old school fans, of course, myself included, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Oh, Ricky Steamboat. We all love the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. We know they had the fan takeover, fan vote and all that, and I was one of the guys that was kind of down in the dumps that we got basically a straight re-release with True Effects face scan as the Walmart flashback. It was just basically a re-release, which is great for you guys that didn't get that. But you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I understand repaints, but I was excited for some of the other options. I was really hoping for the modern day Ricky Steamboat when he fought Jericho. That would have been cool as an elite, where we did have a basic of that. But we do get a WCW version. Mid-90s WCW TV title, Stone Cold, or I shouldn't say Stone Cold, stunning Steve Austin feuding Ricky Steamboat. Kind of Ricky Steamboat's really last hurrah on the main stage. This is the one that came out of left field for me, so I'm excited for this, and I'm even more excited that they announced he would be the Chase figure in this line. So you're getting a white pants with the decoration, yellow pants with the decoration. You get 2 extra heads, 2 extra hands, and then, of course, the first time in the line, WCW TV title. And it's great. You buy 2 of these, you get 2 TV titles. You can put one with a different character, do what you want. But then Mattel, kudos again. You got to give them their props. This is what I love about Chases. We get an extra head, we get extra hands, we get different gear color. So what do? You have 2 totally different Ricky the Dragon Steamboats. You put a different head, different hands on them, and you got a totally different figure. One will have the belt, one you give a belt to the other guy, maybe it goes to your Steve Austin figure. I just love that idea. I love legends. I love it when they do this with being a legend or a regular guy. This is what Chases should be. We should get an extra head. We can really make it a different figure. I just think that is a very, very smart move by the Mattel team. I think Ricky the Dragon Steamboat will sell very well for Mattel. So very excited about that one. Then we turned our attention to the last 2 announcements. We got Mason T-Bar from Retribution. Retribution long gone. Mason T-Bar got split up in the recent draft for the WWE, so they're kind of floundering a little bit. We had hopes they'd be like the Ascension, and the Ascension didn't fare too well either. But mass, face paint, big dudes, tattoos. Man, I like it. I'm here for it. I'll pick it up. I don't foresee these guys getting figures like this in their current gimmicks again. I just don't see that happening. We do get some extra heads here, so you can make them in their current, kind of what we see on WWE TV, but plus also go back to the Retribution. And we are getting the, was it Mia Yim's Reckoning, I think it is, and Mustafa Ali in Elite 90, which should be here in the next week, 2 weeks, I would imagine. So you get these 2, and you get those. We're still missing, what is it, Slapjack or something like that? I don't know where he went, but we're missing that figure. But you got almost the whole team of Retribution, so you can put them on a shelf and say, well, we got kind of that team there. A moment in time, I guess we'll call it out there. But I thought that was pretty cool to get these 2. I don't know if they're going to sell that well, especially never really being, after Retribution broke up, not being heavily featured on TV. I just don't know if these are going to be a hot seller there. But interesting. First time in the line. I'm okay with it. We got a Dijakovic in the basic line, that you guys remember. But I'm okay with this. I want different characters. I'd rather have these 2 than maybe another Randy Orton and John Cena, for example. So I'm okay with this, but I'm not sure how well they're going to sell when the dust settles out there. But then we turned our attention. So that was done with Elites. And like I said, we got another day of reveals here. But for day 1, they were done with Elites here. They moved to the WWE Ultimate Editions. And Ultimate Editions, where during the Shinsuke release, Triple H, Finn Balor, that era, a lot of people thought the Ultimate Editions were on their deathbed. But man, things have rose, their stock has risen, a lot of popular figures, a lot of heavy hitters lately from the Ultimate Editions. Heck, we unboxed 4 of them this week on the channel, so go check out Kane, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, Hulk Hogan. We unboxed all those on the channel this week. All awesome figures in their own way. A few gripes on a couple of them, but very solid Ultimate Editions. I do recommend, you should probably get all of them. But we got 2 more, and we're going back to the past, and once again, people are upset a little bit about that. But you got to do the heavy hitters. That's what we talk about. And that's where Hulk Hogan returns to the line. We're getting WrestleMania 1 Hogan. We're getting that 85 title. We're getting extra heads, extra hands, of course. It's Hulk Hogan. We're going to get a soft goods shirt. This will sell. People are going to buy multiples of these. And there's a lot of people in the Ultimates Double Up Club. You guys know I've been a part of that since the beginning. I think as these Ultimates keep going out, and then you add the Amazon Ultimates on there, and then the upcoming Target exclusive Ultimates, you're going to see some people dropping off that Double Up Club. It's almost like the AEW stuff. It's like, okay, now it's getting to be too many figures. But I do like their release 2 at a time. It feels more palatable to me. And this Hogan is solid. It's Hogan. He's going to sell. People want WrestleMania Hogan. They're going to want this 85 title. It's something different. This will sell very well. This is one of those figures 10 years from now going to be worth a fortune. It's just the way things go. And even probably 5 years from now, or even less than that, it's going to be a fortune. So pick up this Hogan when this drops. And then the yin to Hogan's yang, we're getting WrestleMania 1 Mr. T in the Ultimate line. We knew T was coming. We knew a Hogan was coming. A lot of people were saying it was Mr. America. That was debunked as false a couple weeks back for sure. And this is the Hogan we're getting. But we're getting Mr. T to match him. All the Mr. T stuff. He's got his flexor thing, which you could also use for Ultimate Warrior Rick Rude. That was the first thing I thought of. You get an extra head, you get his change, you get his bandana, soft goods. It's Mr. T. Some people are griping they didn't want Mr. T, but I have to imagine Mr. T's contract with Mattel is coming to a close. That's why you saw so many Mattel Mr. T's cranked out over the last year. Get the most out of him while you have him under contract. Very similar to the Warlord. If they're going to lose Warlord, they might as well make a figure of him. Maybe down the line they'll get Barbarian signed. They can add to that and have that yin to the yang to the Warlord, get the whole powers of pain. Kind of the same thing I feel with Mr. T. I don't know anything, but that's what my gut tells me. But I'm okay with this. Give us a Mr. T Ultimate. Let's have that. Let's have that team. I just would love it if we could finally get that Roddy Piper Ultimate. I've been begging for over the last 2 years. There's so many different ways you could go with that Piper Ultimate, and I hope we get 2 Piper Ultimates one of these days. Get this WrestleMania 1 time frame, and then maybe a later day WWF Roddy Piper as an Ultimate. So we'll see. But 2 strong Ultimates I think will do very well at retail. Mr. T is also, maybe wrestling fans don't like him, but there is Mr. T collectors. There is A-Team fans over there. You get some of that cross-sell. Just like the WWE Masters Universe line out there, you get some of the He-Man Origin figures that buy those. You're touching different sales groups there. Sergeant Slaughter Ultimate from this San Diego Comic-Con. You got G.I. Joe people buying that. You got wrestling people buying that. So you get some of that with that degree to Mr. T. So that makes sense as well. And then we finished up day 1 with 2 Ringside Collectibles exclusive. We knew about Tommaso Ciampa, so they did show him in a little bit more detail. We did see the packaging. A lot of cool goods with this one, really dressed up, taken to the next level of elite. I don't know how well this one will sell. It'll go okay, but Tommaso Ciampa isn't quite, you know, the Undertakers and some of these other ones we've gotten exclusives of. Legends, I guess I should say. But I will be buying this one, and I just realized, looking at my pre-orders, I never pre-ordered this one, so I need to get on the list to pre-order this Tommaso Ciampa. But it's cool enough figure. They did say they switched the upper torso, as he is pretty jacked. He's a skinny jacked guy is what he is, I guess you'd call it. He's not jacked like a Warrior, but he's jacked like a Rick Rude, maybe, something like that. Maybe that's a good comparison. But really cool. I love the mask. You guys know, face paint, masks, tattoos, bipedal creatures. The list goes on and on. I like the looks of this Tommaso Ciampa. Give me the Timothy Thatcher to go with this one, though. I love Timothy Thatcher. That's a modern-day elite I hope we get in 2022. But Tommaso Ciampa showing off, new packaging, all that kind of stuff. But then they ended with a new announcement for a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, sounding like it's coming early January, or January, February 2022. We're getting The Undertaker. So The Undertaker, no stranger to any Ringside exclusives. We've had many over the years. I'm sure we'll have many to come. But we're getting a WCW Tag Team Champion Undertaker, which is a bit of a deep cut out there. But you guys know me. For me, I love this because this is Biker Taker. This is Kane, Taker, Tag Team, WCW Tag Team Champions, which seems weird. He should have been a Tag Team Champion as Mean Mark in the Skyscrapers, if you ask me, but that's neither here nor there. But I can see some people grumbling about this Taker, as it really doesn't seem to be much more than a regular elite. I think it's just you're selling the Undertaker name. You're selling the first time in the line WCW Tag Team title, this version. So there's enough, and it is Undertaker. There's enough Undertaker fans. There's enough Legends fans. There's hardcore completists. This Undertaker will sell. But to me, honestly, this doesn't feel like much more than elite. But they did walk through some new technology on this one, which I think is a game changer. It doesn't seem like much, but to an old school guy like me, it does. The straps come down. So you can pull the straps down. And that's very iconic with The Undertaker. You know, you guys BSK tattoo showing off. The straps are down. He's ready to go. But my mind immediately went to this. If they have this technology, we're going to get Jerry Lawler. I want another old school Jerry Lawler with the goatee down here, no mustache. That's my favorite incarnation of Jerry Lawler. And we got that in the Hall of Fame. A solid figure. But give us an updated one in all white. And give us where the strap can come down. You knew business was picking up when Jerry King Lawler pulled that strap down. And another guy that'll never be made in Mattel Elite, but a part of my childhood that I would love to see one day, Eric Embry. I know not a hometown name to a lot of people out there. A lot of people probably don't even like Eric Embry. But little kid Kyle watching Eric Embry in the USWA down in Texas, I was drinking it up. I was eating it up with a fork and a spoon. I'd even go to KFC and get the spork. That's how much I was into Eric Embry. It's just funny. It's a moment in time. You had to be there. But he would also do that Lawler, pull the strap down. So give me an Eric Embry, but I'm sure we're going to get a Jerry Lawler using this technology one day. I would love an all-white Jerry Lawler. Maybe give us that AWA Super Show when he defended the title. I think it was against Henning. Kurt Henning it was. maybe that outfit, something like that. But that's where my mind went before Undertaker. But I like this. It's different enough. It's cool enough. I'll definitely be picking this up, as you know. But some new technology there. Just interesting. But like I said, I love the Underbiker, so I'm all in. I'll pick this bad boy up. But that concluded day one of Ringside Fest. Now let's turn our attention to day two. All right, now we turn our attention to day two of Ringside Fest, and I guess you would say the WWE Elite Squad. Old Johnny Gargano out there and Sam Roberts stole a little bit of the Ringside Fest thunder, I would say. It was about an hour and a half before the Ringside Fest video dropped. They did one of those WWE kind of tongue-in-cheek videos. They had guests like Sami Zayn on, of course. So there was some news from that, so I'm taking this day two, a little bit from Ringside Fest and a little bit from that WWE Elite Squad. And we're going to break it down just like we broke down day one. We're going to break down day two. So let's start it off. And we heard this from both sides, but we heard about Elite 90. Now, Elite 90 has been a strange one, as Wrestling Figure Collector Shop or Wrestling Collector Shop, they started sending out the pre-orders this week. And I'm hoping Ringside any day now will start sending theirs out. But we did know what was in that set, but we saw the in-package glamour shots from Wrestling Collector Shop first, which was a little strange out there. But an interesting set, but we knew who was in here. But to see the in-package shots and some better glamour shots of these guys, we know we've got Reckoning. Isn't it Reckoning? Mia Yim. So we got her. I'm hopeful that face mask comes off. I don't know. I might have missed that today, but I'm thinking that face mask probably comes off, possibly creating a 2-on-1 figure. But we are getting her to fill out Retribution, and we're also getting Mustafa Ali. We talked about Mason T-Bar in day one reveals. Now we have these two as part of day two reveals. So building out that Retribution team. We're also getting Jey Uso, of course. He's Uso crazy, as we all know. But we're getting a solo release from him. Just seems weird not to have his brother there, but hey, here we are. He's got the flare, the flange on his shirt kind of cut up there. He does come with a lei, which is a nice touch. Something tells me he might be the peg warmer of the bunch. I'm not positive, but that's what my gut's telling me at first. Then we're getting Randy Orton in his WrestleMania gear, which is pretty cool. Being white gear, we don't see a lot of white gear Randy Orton. I don't think we've ever seen a white gear Randy Orton. So this being just something different is pretty awesome. And then he does come with his goofy night vision goggles from some of that Raw skits and stuff like that. So that is a nice little touch. It's a new first time in the line accessory as far as my memory goes. So we do get that. But then we also get from Cobb County, Georgia, the guy that put Cobb County on the map, if you ask me. We're getting the Big Boss Man, and I'm all for a Big Boss Man figure. Not a lot of different from the two prior releases, but there's enough meat on the bone, I would say, with the hat and new head sculpt, stuff like that. But then you're also getting him as the Chase, and we are getting WCW The Boss. And I think that is a sweet touch. That truly is two separate figures. I'm here for that all day. It has the WCW hat. I should say the Big Boss Man one comes with the Big Boss Man hat, which is a very famous hat. I mean, you see that, that directly takes you back to the day of the Big Boss Man in the merch catalog, stuff like that. So I'm all for both Boss Mans. I love getting the WCW version. Now my hope is eventually we get the Guardian Angel and a Big Bubba Rogers. Make that the next one, chases like that. That would be awesome. I would love a Guardian Angel Big Boss Man. I always thought that was kind of comical out there. But Elite 90 should be in your hands if you pre-ordered from some of these places, hopefully in the next couple of weeks here. But then Johnny Gargano and those guys, they showed off a few other ones out there. They showed Chief Jay Strongbow. We know that is coming as a collector's exclusive, part of the off of the line. So we're getting Chief Jay. Must have for me. I remember back in the old days, the Classic Superstars line. Yes, back then, he was the peg warmer beyond belief. So I assume that'll eventually be that way. I think he'll be easy enough to find, but like most collector's editions, very hard to find at first. Chief Jay Strongbow mania might be running wild. People are going to have that Chief Jay Strongbow anxiety. I wouldn't get too worked up about it. I think you'll be able to track him down eventually. But a cool looking figure for Chief Jay. You guys know me, I love getting some of those classic legends. First times in the lines are always fun. They also showed Austin Theory, and Johnny Gargano gushed about his son and all that if you're following NXT and stuff. We did get a basic from him recently with a Chase, and now we're getting him in his first Elite figure. And I guess it is pretty timely as he is now on Monday Night Raw, feuding with Jeff Hardy and a few other people out there. So that is kind of cool. And then they did show pictures of the upcoming Hulk Hogan. I believe that's Elite 91 Hulk Hogan from his SummerSlam gear. I'm all for this Hulk Hogan. I like the idea of it. I love the two boas. They did say it was a new kind of boa, a double boa. It comes with all the hands you'd want. Comes with the belt. the bandana, of course. I liked this era of Hulk Hogan. I like the looks of it, and I think this will be a very strong figure. I got to think when I do the set rankings when that time comes, that one's going to be high on my list because I've always enjoyed that representation of Hulk Hogan, I guess you'd call it. So that one is coming out. And then they did have RVD on the Ringside Fest. He came and they talked about his new figure coming out. We know we're getting the white chase version. We're getting the tiger striped version as the regular. Two very iconic RVD gears. And they talked about those gears and other gear with him pretty much at length. And RVD looked like he just rolled out of bed. He looked awfully sleepy and tired. But I was glad to see RVD there. I thought he added a little touch of specialness. And then on the Elite Squad side, they brought in Sami Zayn to kind of talk about some stuff. And Sami Zayn is getting a new figure. It was kind of Fidel Castro type wear out there. So I thought that was all right. I'm all for that. I like Sami Zayn a lot. It's been a long time. There was a spell for a while. We got a pretty consistent Sami Zayn release. It feels like it's probably been well over a year, if not 2 years, since we've had an Elite Sami Zayn. So I'm here for that. I'm all about that Sami Zayn. It's coming with a Sammy Award, if you remember that, where he wanted the Slammy Award and all that. He had the Sammy Award. I think that'll be a strong one out there. And of course, you can't have Sami Zayn without a brand new Kevin Owens. This one doesn't do a ton for me. His gear is just pretty much the same, but he does have blue laces in his boots. Those always pop. We talk about it on the channel a lot. Blue is a color that pops for me. He'll have his t-shirt on. It is not soft goods. It is regular goods, but it does have all of his updated tattoo work, as he has done a lot of work in the last couple years on his tattoos, and he's much like Sami Zayn. We were getting Kevin Owens on a pretty strong clip for a long time. We are finally back in the saddle on Kevin Owens figures, and he is coming with a ladder. They said this had been released before. It must have been in like a battle pack, because I don't remember this ladder that broke away being with an Elite. I could be wrong, but that is cool for some of you guys out there, including myself, that does not have that breakaway ladder that kind of bends in the middle like that, which is pretty cool, especially for fig photographers out there. They also showed Bianca Belair from a Royal Rumble outfit from when she won. We talked about this a long time ago. They announced this way back when. I don't know if it was San Diego Comic-Con possibly. But she has removable earrings. I tell you what, 10 years from now, those earrings are going to be worth a fortune because people are going to lose them. And people are going to be selling those probably more than the figure is worth, because I get to see kids losing those about immediately out there. But we are getting that. She will have the title belt, all kinds of stuff. New scan on Bianca too. So we've got a lot of Biancas. We talked about in day one, they announced a WrestleMania basic of her. Now we're getting an Elite. So there's a lot going on in the Bianca Belair department. I don't think those will be her only figures in 2022, I would have to say. But then, yeah, we talked about the RVDs, and I'm excited about the RVDs, of course. Being an RVD guy, being an ECW guy, I'm here for that all day long. Then they did talk about the WrestleMania. So they referenced the WrestleMania Elites yesterday and showed us the WrestleMania basics. But then today they dived a little bit more into the WrestleMania Elites. And an interesting line. I love the packaging change going on there. I think that is a really cool touch. The AJ Styles, I'm all for that one. I wouldn't mind to have that one. I'm going to buy an extra. I'm going to make a custom Kyle Peterson figure. I did have a cool Kyle Peterson custom, but I'm going to try to make my own easy recipe with that one. But I like that from the Boneyard match. Pick up those Undertakers right now, because once that AJ is released, people are going to want that Taker that slept on it. So there'll be a lot of people looking for that Taker. If you're on the fence, pick up that Elite 85, is it, Taker? I'd pick that up right now if I was you. Then we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 19, I believe it is, his final match. A nice moment in time out there, but it's not a lot different than a lot of the other Stone Colds. But once again, it is a business. Stone Cold Steve Austin sells. That's why he's here. Then we're getting Bret Hart. This one made me scratch my head a little bit. I know they said in there we got updated elbow pads, updated face and stuff, but man, I got that WrestleMania one. I think it was a Toys R Us exclusive back in the day. It really isn't a lot different. This is almost a re-release, about as close as it gets without being a dedicated re-release. But I know a lot of people missed out on this. There's a lot of new collectors, so I understand that. I just hope we don't get more of that kind of stuff. But I do think it's going to happen. We've had 10 plus years of Elites, and they did re-sign their contracts. We got more Elites coming. They're going to go back to the well from some of those earlier Elites, and it makes sense. They can improve on some stuff, but there's also, I think, going to be more of this where longtime collectors are going to be a little disappointed because they're going to see something they already have that's just barely updated. But it is what it is. And then we're getting Shawn Michaels HBK in there in his retirement match as well. I don't know. This is one of those ones I didn't feel looks really good in the pictures, but might look better in hand. We see that happen a lot lately, and this I think might be akin to that. So we'll see where that ends up shaking out. But Shawn Michaels, once again, put your business hat on. People buy Shawn Michaels figures. He is very popular. Same with Bret Hart. Same with Stone Cold. I guess we'll throw AJ in there. He's probably going to be the peg warmer of the set, but a very good set. But then, of course, it is brought to that next level, that famed next level, as we get WrestleMania 3 Build-A-Figure Vince McMahon holding the 3 fingers. They talked about how you can transfer that over into your referee's hand. Well, when are you going to give us referees? That Build-A-Figure Danny Davis doesn't really count. We need regular referees. When are we going to see those? I don't know if he was just talking. That's Bill McKenna, that is. Or maybe we will get referees one of these days. I know there's Squared Circle Toys out there that's coming out with a Kickstarter. Follow that if you've missed it. But interesting that they brought that up about the referee. But we're getting Vince McMahon's suit. This is a good one, too, because you could pop that head off, and all of a sudden you could pop a different character. You could, I don't know, turn that into Mean Gene or somebody else. So if you want a guy in a suit, that's another avenue for you to get a suited body. Obviously, for me, I'm keeping that as Vince McMahon WrestleMania 3. Not sure where I'll display it. Obviously, with my classics somewhere, but I'll have to figure out about that. But I wish we had more Build-A-Figure sets. Very like Marvel Legends. I think it makes people buy figures they weren't going to buy. And it's just putting that business hat on. I think it is a smart business practice out there. And I would like to see this more often. And it sounds like all the pay-per-view series are going to get this. But I think there's more room for that, unless they don't have guys they feel that can fill those positions out, but I do doubt that. So we're getting that in that whole Mania set. Those should be shipping, I would say, February. That's a good gut check there. Usually come out a little bit before WrestleMania. And then they turned their attention to Legends Series 14, and this is where business really picked up today. As today it was a lot of stuff we already knew about. Maybe saw a couple of new pictures, and I guess Legends Series 14 we knew about as well. But this was our first time really seeing some promotional images on Legends Series 14. And they started off talking about Edge. We're getting 2 versions of Edge. Edge in red will be the chase. The white will be the regular. Edge is on fire right now back in the WWE. We've gotten some figures. There's a lot of people that miss those classic Edges from back in the day. So this does fit a purpose for new collectors, old collectors, Edge fans. I see why they did this. You're getting 2 Edges here. You can also pair this up with that Hulk Hogan we talked about, as they were tag team champions, I think around this time. So that is a cool another thing you can do there. But I think Edge will be popular because he crosses that border of Legends fans and newer fans, and that will help move some units out on the streets out there. Target exclusive with Legends Series 14 as well. Then we did see China. So we're talking DX Invasion. We just unboxed Billy Gunn a couple days ago. Check that review if you missed that. We're getting China out there, and China is tough. Everybody wanted China. Everybody wants China figures, but boy, retail is saying something totally different, that people don't want China. At least in my area, at least what I see on my figure hunts and my targets, that WrestleMania set from last year is still haunting the pegs out there, and China is the biggest culprit of the bunch, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see how this China sells, but I got to think a lot of people will buy this China, even if they already have another China, just because they want to complete that DX Invasion. So I do hope that helps this China move, or this could be the Mr. Wonderful or the Bobby Heenan of this set. We'll see how that shakes out. But then we get her DX counterpoint, her partner, I guess I should say, the Road Dogg Jesse James, and a lot of reuse on this Road Dogg. That shirt we saw multiple times. We saw it most recently with Billy Gunn. Same thing with the pants, but it is, once again, like that Billy Gunn, a 2-in-1 figure. So might have to get 2 of these. You can have the New Age Outlaws, you can have the DX Invasion, 2-in-1. So I always love a 2-in-1 figure. Put my business hat, it makes you buy more figures. That's a smart move on that Mattel team right there. But and then he does have the like bandolier out there. It doesn't really look like bullets and artillery. I think it, as close as it could, is what they did for toys and for kids and stuff. I don't know if they wanted to put actual bullets on there. But I know a lot of people want that Road Dogg to complete with Jesse James, or with Billy Gunn. And I think the last time we got those 2 in the Elite lineup was the WWE Hall of Champions line Target exclusive, so it's been a while for those 2. But then, the highlight of day 2 for me, and possibly the highlight of both days, honestly, a figure we've been screaming about since the infancy of the channel. About 2 years I've been calling for this one. I get some, I don't want to say hate comments, but people are like, how do you not like regular Undertaker? And I'm a Mean Mark Callis guy. And I explained that a little bit on my Undertaker unboxing of the Ultimate, but we are finally getting Mean Mark Callis. I can finally relive that heart punch of '89, just when Mean Mark stole my heart and never let go after all these years. Big figure, my introduction to Mark Calloway, I guess, as a wrestler. This is what I'm here for. We get a lot of Undertakers, but I want deep cuts like this. I would love to see more wrestlers from the past do deep cuts like this. Looking at you, Steve Austin. Let's get a stunning Steve Austin with hair and a robe. Let's get that in 2022. But this Mean Mark, man, no Mean Mark left behind. He doesn't have face paint, but this is exactly what I was looking for in a Mean Mark. And it was funny, Bill McKenna was like echoing all my comments throughout there. I'm in the same boat, Bill. I've been wanting this figure for many, many years. I've been a Mean Mark fan for many years. I'm excited to get this one, and like I said, I've been wanting this one for 2 years on the channel on my most wanted list, and it's like Mattel finally listened to me. Or maybe Bill's just of the same age bracket as me, possibly. I don't know, he's got to be older than me. He's got to be older, but very excited to get Mean Mark out there. Just a slam dunk. We also did see from the WWE live stream, or it wasn't a live stream, but their side, they did show in-package images of the Ultimate Warrior Ultimate Edition, which supposedly, if you're watching this on Friday as it drops, Wednesday it's supposed to drop via Amazon. I don't know. I don't know if it'll get delayed or not. Will we get that dreaded delay email? I guess time will tell, but I am obviously very excited for this Ultimate Warrior. My favorite of all time. I'm a little disappointed on what version they went to, and we'll get into that in the review unboxing when we do that towards the end of next week, hopefully. But WrestleMania 6 Warrior, it kind of looks like in some of these shots, it almost reminds me of the Masters of the WWE Origins figures, Ultimate Warrior. It kind of has that vibe to it a little bit, but still, all in all, I'm here for the Warrior. I'm here for any Warrior. Face paint, you know me. I love Warrior. I'm definitely picking that up because I got them on pre-order. They're coming Wednesday. Fingers crossed. And then they went out with a little bit of a whimper on Ringside Fest. Maybe not for you, but for me they did. They talked about the Bend and Bash figures. We got Cena, we got Roman, we got The Rock, and we got Rey Mysterio. And they're kind of like a mix between a Bendy and a Stretch Armstrong is what they seemed like. And I don't know. Those are definitely not for my age bracket. For everybody that's watching this video, probably not for you. But if you have young kids out there, that's a great introduction into wrestling figures for little kids. Hopefully they enjoy those. Hopefully they get a little bit older, then they start with some basics, then they move into Elite, and before you know it, they're a lifer in the wrestling figure community. That's what those are for. They're not for you and me, most likely. But it was interesting. It was kind of, I wish they would have started with that instead of ended. That was not a very good finale, I felt. But it is what it is. All in all, a pretty good day, 2 days of reveals. Day 1 was maybe a hair stronger than Day 2 because Day 2 seemed like a lot of stuff we already knew about. And these were filmed prior, so I think some of that kind of happened with the Wrestling Collector Shop releasing the figure pictures and shipping those out. I think they beat Ringside Fest to the punch, which I don't think they felt was going to happen. But it is what it is. That's business at the end of the day. But 2 days of reveals going to carry us up all the way up basically till WrestleMania. And I do think maybe that'll be the next time we get some big time reveals is around WrestleMania. It does sound like that Fiend and Adam Cole figure are canceled. Didn't hear any talk of those two at all. So unfortunately, would have really liked that crazy Jason version of the Fiend. Adam Cole, it's a criminal offense by Mattel that we didn't get that Adam Cole to match the rest of the Undisputed Era. That's why you don't wait. That's why you don't linger things out. You get them done while you can. And I hope they learn their lesson on that because that's one of the most disappointing things from Mattel in a lot of years. From where I sit, which as you guys know, is right here at this table. So anyways, there's 2 days of reveals. What are your guys' thoughts? What are you most excited for? What disappointed you? Any thoughts on any of these characters? Are you all in? Are you all out? You picking and choosing? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Make sure you like this video. You made it this far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at SirPaul64, Instagram _Kyle_Peterson, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Support the channel. So for the Mattel reveals, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.